What is going on, guys? Zuggy Fishing here, back to you with another video. Hope you guys are so well. Hope you guys are enjoying life, living life to the fullest, being positive, confident, optimistic, resilient. Happy holidays. I do not know when I'm posting this video, but it could be in January, it could be in December, I'm not sure, but happy holidays. It is Christmas Eve today, December 24th. So happy Christmas Eve, happy Merry Christmas, and happy New Year. Y'all, 2021 is gonna be an epic year for Zuggy Fishing as a whole, and you guys catching big fish out there on the water. It's gonna be an awesome year. Today I have a very special video for y'all today. You can follow me on Instagram at Zuggy Fishing and on TikTok at Zuggy Fishing as well. Y'all, the merch is now live. The link is in the top of the description. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I am Zuggy Fishing. We do everything positive on this channel. Positive vibes all over the place, loving life with confidence. And y'all, if you like fishing and the outdoors, make sure you guys hit that red subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and a comment. I have a very special video for y'all today. Right here, I have a box of some Googan bait hard baits. Now I'm going to be going over my top 5 favorite baits. I do have a lot of Googan hard baits, not going to lie, but I am going to pick my top 5, not in any particular order today. However, we go over some lures that are hard baits, crankbaits, some spooks, some poppers, some jigs, some lipless stuff, some chatterbait, clickbaits even. We're gonna be going over the top 5. I'm definitely gonna be making a part 2 to this video, but right now I'm gonna pick kind of like my top 5, and then next video I'll kind of go to like the 5 to 10 range. Right here, y'all, I have a full box of some Googan bait hard baits. Now, this video is actually sponsored by Karl's Bait and Tackle. Karl's Bait and Tackle sent me all of these Googan baits. Right here, y'all, there's a bunch of Googan baits that Karl sent me. Karl's Bait and Tackle is basically a hub for all your fishing gear. You guys can get rods, reels, line, baits, accessories, anything you need. If you are a fisherman, Karl's is the place for you. Bait and Tackle is basically a hub for all your fishing gear. You guys can get rods, reels, line, accessories, anything on Karl's Bait and Tackle. Also, Karl's has a thing where you can become a Karl's Club member. And if you guys become a Karl's Club member, you guys can get 30% plus off of every single thing in the store. You guys get major discounts if you become a Karl's Club member. You won't have to go to Dick's Sporting Goods anymore. You won't have to go to your local tackle stores. Karl's is the place. You guys get Googan baits, tons and tons of other brands on Karl's. The link is in the description for Karl's Bait and Tackle. The first Googan bait hard bait, now mind guys, this is in no particular order, but the first Googan bait hard bait that is one of my favorites is something called the Googan Baits Clutch. Googan Baits Clutch is basically a rattle trap, aka lipless crankbait. I'm going to show you guys right now what these things look like. I have 2 right here. I have the mini clutch, and then I have the normal size clutch. Look at these beautiful baits right here. So this one right here, this is the bigger clutch. It's a normal clutch. So it's a bigger presentation than the mini clutch over here. And this bait right here, it's a bigger presentation, has tons and tons of abrasive rattles, and look at the color variation on this thing. Googan Baits actually just came out with this color recently. It's kind of a blue, a green, and a gold pattern. I'm gonna try to have it glisten in. It looks really cool. I think it looks awesome. Over here is a mini banger. So this is in the all straight gold color, which I think is a phenomenal color. What I love about these color variations is the way it gives off flash and vibrations with the 2 rattles. I think it's awesome stuff. The color variations allow a flash and so much attraction to these baits in the water, making it look like an injured bait fish. Now we're gonna tie up the gold one, I believe. This is the mini clutch, which I like to fish more because the bait fish, the bluegill in my ponds are not giant, which is why I like the mini clutch better, because it kind of imitates it more accurately. So we're gonna tie on the mini clutch right now and see what it looks like. Googan Squad Clutch. This is the mini clutch right here. We're gonna get another close-up on it right now, but a beautiful Googan Squad clutch right now. So this is a rattle trap, aka lipless crankbait right here. So when you want to be fishing the clutch is when you have a large forage of bait fish in your pond. If you have bluegill, if you have shad, little shiners, stuff like that in your ponds, you guys definitely want to be fishing the clutch and the mini clutch. Perfect bait fish imitation. Patterns, what we're going to be doing in a second, are what you want to do in order to get the reaction strike. We're going to be going over that in just a second. So the First out of the 5 Googan bait hard baits that are my favorite, in no particular order, is the Googan Squad clutch. So some tips with the clutch, how I would fish this thing, is 1, bounce it off a structure. If you have a stump in the water, if you have a branch that is out, bounce it along that, roll it right along that structure. Also, roll it along banks. Bait fish are usually pushed up on the bank, and bass will go up shallow for these bait fish. So roll it along weed edges, roll it along banks. That's what you want to do with the clutch. Also, don't be afraid to bounce it off the bottom. What I mean by bounce it off the bottom, we're gonna see it in a second, but basically just let that bait sink and pull up, basically like a blade bait. We're gonna be going over these patterns and taking a look what the clutch looks like in the water. Let's do it. We're gonna cast out the clutch and then we're gonna bring it in. So basically, how you wanna fish this bait, you wanna have a slow retrieve. So if we're looking at the rod, you just wanna, slow retrieve it like this. And while you're slow retrieving it, you want to give your rod some pops in order to have the much flash and attraction as possible. So when you're slow retrieving it, you have tons and tons of vibrations. You could feel it within the sensitivity of the rod. However, so when you're slow retrieving, you want to pop your rod. You want to pop it, and just almost like a little jerk bait almost. So you want to slow retrieve, pop your rod. Slow retrieve, pop, have different variations and different patterns. Now we're going to cast it out again. And another major tactic that you guys want to, I said before, is bouncing it off the bottom. So lift your rod tip up, let it fall, let the bait fall. Lift your rod tip up, let it fall. It's an excellent strategy for the lipless crank. Just basically pull up, let it fall. Almost like a jig or a Texas rig almost. But you could also slow retrieve, fast retrieve, have different start-stop actions, and that allows that vibration and that flash of that bait to go crazy in the water. So basically, there's 2 other things that I would do. You always have that slow retrieve and then those different pops of your rod. Now I would totally mix up different variations of speed within your retrieve. Like for example, have super fast, super slow, long pauses, short pauses, tough start and stops. So basically I would slow retrieve it, maybe go really fast for a second, let it pause. Maybe slow retrieve, pause it for a second, go really fast, stop it, stop. You never want to be robotic when you're fishing the clutch. It's really, really important and will overall lead to more bites. So we're gonna take a look at what the clutch looks like in the water right now. But those are some really, really good tips when fishing lipless crankbaits and the clutch in general. We're gonna cast out the clutch short and I'm gonna show you guys what this thing looks like in the water. So I'm gonna try to get on the top of the water column. And we're gonna try to get a cool shot. Basically, the vibrations of this bait are nuts, and the side-to-side motion right there, it looks really, really awesome. Just like an injured bait fish in the water, just trying to struggle by. It's very awesome. So as I said before, you can have those different variations and different patterns of the bait. Pop this bait. I don't know if it's very hard to see in the water, but you guys want to have that flash. Let it sink, let it fall, just like that. Try to get as much pop and flash as you possibly can. Like look at that thing. If you see that gold flash, so much attraction in the water. If you slow retrieve that thing, go super, super fast. It's hard to see. Go super fast, go super slow. Pop it, pop your rod tip. Look how awesome that bait looks. It looks really great, especially with the gold flash. Really great stuff. It just looks like an injured bait fish in the water that's suffering, and that's when bass capitalize. When bait fish are at their lowest and they're the most vulnerable, it's exactly when they capitalize. So that's what I love about the clutch and the different variations and patterns. Googan Bait's clutch is a phenomenal lipless crankbait / rattle trap, whatever you want to call it. But have different retrieves. Pop your rod tip. You never want to have like a straight retrieve. You can, but you'll overall get more bites if you put different flashes, touches, and variations on this bait. It's an excellent lipless crankbait. Bomb a mile out there, bounce it off the bottom, have different attractions, have different patterns. It's what's important. And if you guys have a main forage of bait fish in your ponds, 100% be fishing the clutch. Let's get on to bait number 2. Bait number 2, we had the Googan Bait's clutch, which was awesome. Now we have the Googan Bait's banger, which is basically a normal crankbait. There's deep diving bangers and there's shallow diving bangers. However, there are different deep diving crankbaits such as the Recon, which we're not going to go over today. However, these are the Googan Squad bangers right here. In my right hand, this is the normal banger, and in my left hand, this is the mini banger. So basically, it depends on what body of water you're fishing and what forage of bait fish in there. If you have big bluegill, big shad, for example, you guys want to be throwing the banger. Or if you're going after different species, I would throw the banger, the big banger. However, bass in the ponds I fish generally usually do not have a big forge of bait fish, and they're pretty small bait fish actually. So I would go with the mini banger ultimately. This is what I normally use, the mini banger right here. This color is awesome, by the way. The bangers are a phenomenal crankbait. I love the abrasiveness and the rattles in there, as well as the abrasive color variations. It's what I love about the banger, and the action in the water is impeccable. Fall and wintertime fishing, those are the main two seasons that I use crankbaits. So right now you definitely want to be capitalizing on the crankbait bite. We're going to take a look at what these baits look like in the water. Let's do it. Also, the Googan Baits banger right here. It's a phenomenal shallow diving crankbait. This crankbait dives anywhere between 3 and 7 feet. So if you guys are fishing shallow ponds, you guys definitely want to be fishing the banger. However, the mini banger dives anywhere between 1 and 3 feet. So if you guys are really fishing shallow ponds, you guys want to be fishing the mini banger. That's what I fish mainly, mainly because bass like to attack the mini banger up shallow, which is what I really, really like. So crankbait fishing 101. So to be honest, I don't throw crankbaits all that often except in the fall and the winter time. Those are the main time bass are capitalizing on bait fish consumption. Right before the winter, they stock up on bait fish. This is why we're going to go over jerk bait later in the video, which is why I love fishing different reaction strike baits. These bass are looking for meals before the winter to stock up before they have to go deep and conserve their energy. So they're looking for an easy meal, a big bait fish meal. The banger and the mini banger is a phenomenal bait. Bait bait's very, very versatile. It imitates a bait fish just like the clutch would. Cooling bait fish, anything like that. You guys want to be rolling the banger along banks, reflecting it off a structure. This bill right here on the banger is the reason why you can deflect it off a structure. It's really, really great stuff. So basically, if you were rolling this bait and it bounces into a tree, you don't really have to worry about it getting snagged. That bill will deflect off the bait and create such a reaction strike in the bass. So basically, if you're rolling it along a bank, for example, or along deep and you hit it off of something, this bait will deflect, and it's super, super significant in order to have that bass reaction strike. If they're hanging along that bank and they see that crankbait bounce off a tree, that's the reaction strike. They're gonna go after that bait. So you guys wanna roll this along structure, deflect it off the structure. I'll roll it along the bottom on sandy bottoms, roll it along that. Roll it out deep. It's a very versatile bait. You could pretty much fish it anywhere, anytime in the fall and the winter time. So we're gonna take a look at the action right now. Let's do it. Googan Baits banger. We're gonna take a look at the action. It has abrasiveness, it has vibration. Like if you guys look at this thing in the water, it looks like an injured bait fish, super vulnerable. It's what I love about the banger. And especially if you guys give it those twitches, as I said before, you guys always want to mix up those patterns. You give it a little twitch pause action, a little suspending action. Oh my gosh, it creates such a reaction strike. Like for example, if you're reeling this thing, it bounces off something, goes like that, pauses. You know, that's vulnerable. It looks like an injured bait fish in the water. And this fire red color, it's one of my favorites, to be honest. Look, like you can go fast, mix up that variation, go fast, go slow, you know, mix up your different pauses, even twitch it a little bit. You know, you can feel the vibration in your rod tip. That's what I love about this bait. Super, super awesome. Look at that thing. Gorgeous. Absolute snack for a bass. That's what I love. Oh yeah. Great fall, wintertime crankbait. Great stuff. The banger is a phenomenal bait. We're gonna get one more cast. Look at the beautiful action of the banger. Boom. Googan Baits banger, phenomenal crankbait for fall and winter time. Another killer fall or wintertime Googan hardbait is something called the Googan Baits Scout. This is the Googan Baits Scout right here. It is a suspending jerkbait. Phenomenal jerkbait. One of my favorites I've ever used in my life. If I had to say, you know, two main jerkbait companies that I would use, one is the Googan Baits Scout, and two is the Rapala Ripstop, as well as Mega Bass. Those are my top 3 jerkbaits. However, this is the Googan Baits Scout. It dives anywhere between 4 and 6 feet. This is the blue crystal color. Now, what I love about this bait, the abrasive action. Tons and tons of rattles in there to get these bass triggered, to get the reaction strike going. And what I love about the blue crystal color is how abrasive and how flashy it is in the water. Googan Baits Scout series has tons and tons of colors in order to create that abrasive reaction strike in the water. Because of the colors, it's what allows the bass to bite. It's a beautiful bait, and the color variations and the way that the bait moves in the water is what creates a reaction strike. It allows the bass to bite this lure. So we're gonna take a look at the Googan Squad Scout in the water. It's a phenomenal fall and wintertime bait. Bass are looking up, as I said before, stocking up on those bait fish. So the Googan Squad Scout, phenomenal bait. Also, the Googan Squad Scout right here, an excellent jerk bait. Now, a big tip with jerkbait fishing is I always give this tip when in any one of my videos, and that tip is to never ever be robotic. You never want to have the same pattern of a jerkbait and the same cast, for example. Like, for example, you want to pop your rod tip once, and then you don't want to keep having that same pattern. You want to mix it up. You always never want to be robotic when we're fishing any bait in general. Always mix it up. That's what you'll get more bites with and create so much more reaction strike, because it's not robotic. The fish aren't they're not bored out of that bait. I use that analogy a lot. It's like the fish get bored or they won't bite it because they don't think it's legit if you're making the same pattern, because in reality bait fish do not do that. They have erratic action. They go every which way. They stop, start, pause, all that good stuff. So that's what you want to do when you're fishing. Just cast that thing out, pop it, make different motions, pop it twice, pop it 3 times. Just have different variations, and that bait will create so much flash and abrasiveness in the water, especially with those rattles. It's what I love about the Scout and jerkbait fishing in general. If you guys have not watched Jake Keenum's new YouTube video, I rave about his YouTube channel a lot. He caught like 8-pounders straight on the jerkbait in his last video. So I highly recommend fishing jerkbaits now, especially. Now's the time to capitalize on jerkbait fishing. Look how awesome that bait looks. And that's not its real action. It's mainly because we're fishing it really short. But you want to pop your rod tip as much as possible. Have abrasive action. Pop it 3 times. Make it look like an injured bait fish. Suspending in the water. Pause it. Stop it. Start it. You never want to be robotic. So cast it out, for example. Pop it once, right? Then maybe pop it twice. Maybe have a pause for 3 to 5 seconds and pop it again. Maybe pop it 3 times. Let it pause. Pop it up once. Just keep having different variations and patterns of the jerkbait. It's kind of weird fishing it right now because we're trying to get a good shot of it for y'all, so you guys can learn as much as possible. But in reality, this bait, it sinks much deeper when very, very shallow water right now. So the Scout's not ideal for fishing it right now, but it's a phenomenal bait overall and a great reaction strike bait, especially for the winter and the fall. The Clutch, the Banger, and the Scout. A jerkbait, a lipless crankbait, and a normal crankbait. So right here, the 4th bait, my favorite Googan hard bait. It's brand new, actually, brand new. Just released not too long ago, weeks ago. This is the Googan Squad Clickbait right here. The Clickbait is basically a bladed jig. You guys have seen the Z-Man chatterbait. It's a very, very similar bait. However, this bait is so unique and so proprietary. I talk about all of the different functionalities of this bait in a video. I did a full video on the Googan Squad Clickbait, actually catching some fish on it. So make sure you guys go check that out. It's on my channel. Not too long ago, about 3 weeks ago, I posted that video. So make sure you guys go check it out. But chartreuse and white clickbait right here. Basically, just a real quick synopsis of the clickbait. You have the big blade right here, and then you have these 4 beads right here, and that creates an abrasive clicking action in the water, and the action is impeccable on this bait. We're gonna take a look at it, but you guys can check the full video of the clickbait on my channel. Googan Squad Clickbait. I'm just casting it around right now, and I absolutely love this bait. Like, honestly, it is one of my favorite baits. So this is basically a bladed jig. So you can mainly work this thing 2 ways. Either a slow retrieve, just like this, and give different starts, stops, and pauses, as I said with the other baits. Like, for example, you could slow retrieve, go really fast, stop it, pop your rod tip a few times, maybe pop it up once, make it a little finesse type stuff, or you can just slow retrieve it like that. Now, always good to have those different variations and patterns, as I always say with every single bait that you throw. You never want to be boring. For example, Googan Squad Clickbait, what you want to do, just have a slow retrieve, pop your rod tip a few times, let it pause. Now there's that slow retrieve motion that you could do. However, it's a bladed jig, so you could also bounce it off the bottom, which is what I love. So for example, I'd let it sit like that, and then just lift my rod tip and let it fall back down, almost like a jig. You could also do your normal bounce, like bounce off the bottom like this, and then reel down. Those are 2 great ways you could do it. Finesse style, if they're not hitting moving baits that day and you want to throw the bladed jig off the water and make it way more finesse and low profile, definitely want to do that tactic. You look at the Googan Squad hard bait now in the water. Look at its motion. Look at its action. Let's do it. I'm gonna cast out the clickbait right now. Look at the action. You guys can see it straight. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Y'all, in the water, there's a clicking motion because of the blade and the beads on this bait. Look at that thing. That thing is sick. That thing is abrasive. It has tons of rattles, tons of flash, vibrations in the water. Like my rod tip is going absolutely crazy. Cast it out, looks absolutely sick. Look, you guys can roll it fast, just like that. Look like a little speedy bait fish. Or you guys can roll it slow, just like this. Nice, easy motion. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Now, you could also bounce it off the bottom, which is gonna be hard to see, but you can kind of go like that, and then just bounce it. You guys can see that flash on the bottom, just like a jig. So now, instead of a finesse jig, like a football jig, you guys have a bladed jig like that. Look how awesome that looks. I know it's very hard to see, but look at that. So awesome. So those are the main two ways I would fish the Googan Squad Clickbait. It's a really excellent bait. It's pretty much a versatile bait all year round, fall time, winter time, springtime, and summertime. It's one of those overall baits, just like the spinner bait. It's excellent, excellent stuff. And that actually leads us to bait number 5, which is the Googan Squad Zinger. Clickbait, the clutch, the banger, and the scout are the 4 that we have so far. And the final bait I have for the fall/winter favorite top 5 Googan baits is the Googan Squad Zinger right here. Zinger is a 2-bladed spinner bait. We have a Colorado blade and a willow blade on this bait. Now, it's a very low profile bait. It's 3/8 ounce, so a decently heavy spinner bait. You guys get it in the 1/2 ounce as well. And this is in the white and chartreuse color, similar to the Clickbait. I absolutely love the Zinger. It has abrasive action in the water with the Colorado and willow blade on it. It's really, really love. It's a low profile spinner bait, not too big, not too small, beautiful profile. Now, we're gonna take a look at what the Clickbait looks like in the water. Let's do it. Googan Squad Zinger. Spinnerbait fishing is one of my favorite, and it's very versatile all year round. Fall, winter, spring, summer. I just want to be throwing the Googan Squad Zinger all the time. Fall, spring, summer, winter, you guys can throw it all. And again, to have different variations for the different seasons, like fall, winter time, you guys want to slow the Zinger down. Definitely do not want to be doing it fast. In the spring, summertime, you guys can be rolling this bait at a good moderate speed. Now, what I love about the Zinger is that it does all the work for you. You can give it pops, twitches, and pauses, what I recommend. However, there's so much vibration in this action compared to other spinner baits, all the work for you. Highly recommend giving it pauses and twitches. You'll get even more bites, but you know, we're gonna cast it out today. Really versatile. You guys could fish spinner baits a lot of ways. It's very, very similar to a bladed jig. Roll along structure, roll it deep, let it bounce off the bottom. A lot of people don't do that with spinner baits. However, I think it's a phenomenal tip. Kind of just like a bigger jig presentation almost. It's very interesting. Roll it along structure, bounce it along the bottom, along banks. Very, very versatile. Roll it out deep as well. Deflect it off structure. It's a very versatile bait. Pretty much everything I said about the Clickbait kind of applies to the Zinger. So we're gonna check it out in the water. We're gonna cast the Zinger out right now. I'm gonna show you guys the beautiful action of this bait. Look at that thing. It doesn't even need an explanation. So much vibrations. Like if I'm fishing a lunker hunt spinnerbait, for example, and I see this thing in the water, like the lunker hunt spinnerbait does not have a lot of vibration. Most don't. However, the Zinger has just an immense amount of vibrations. Like my rod tip with a spinnerbait has never been this vibrant before. Like look at that thing. Especially if you twitch pause it. Like look at that thing. Look at that. Twitch pause it. Looks like an injured bait fish. Beautiful. Just like almost like a little jig. Slow retrieve it, fast retrieve it, just like that. Have, you know, look like a really riled up school of bait fish, or just slow like that. Both phenomenal action. Now you guys want to have different variations, as I said before. Start, stop, slow, you know, pause. Just like that. Beautiful. Awesome stuff. Especially in the fall and winter time, spinnerbait's an awesome, awesome bait. That's when I recommend it the most. Fish just comes up, clobber that thing. Boom. The Googan Squad Zinger. Hey, y'all, I appreciate you watching today's video. I went over my top 5 favorite Googan hard baits. I do have tons and tons more. However, you know, we only have so much time for a video. But y'all, I'm gonna make 100% going to make a part 2 of this video. So make sure you guys hit that red subscribe button. I am Zuggy Fishing. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and a comment. Y'all, we went over the clutch, the banger, the scout, the Clickbait, and the Zinger. All phenomenal winter/fall baits. I appreciate you watching today's video. Make sure you guys go follow me on Instagram at Zuggy Fishing. I love you guys so much. Be positive. Just fish.